everybody, and welcome back to Get Your Play Online. My name is Lauren, and today I will be leading you guys in an activity where you can make your very own back to school pencil holder, okay? So I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited to do this with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I wanted to show you guys something. So right before I started my live today, I went downstairs, I checked the mail. Normal day for me, right? But in the mail today, I got my shirt from Get Your Play Online. So this one says, take chances, make mistakes, get messy, and then at the bottom it says, just play. So it's a really cool shirt. And you can go ahead and find this shirt and many others at bonfire.com/store/getyourplayonline, I think is the exact URL. Otherwise, you can go to our website, getyourplayonline.com, and you can find our bonfire page through there too. So there's tons of stuff. They have bags, they have shirts, they have tank tops, a lot of cool stuff. So be sure to check it out. Anyways, I'm just really excited about it. So yeah, today we're gonna make our very own back to school tin can pencil holder. And what we're gonna need for this today is obviously a tin can. And what I used for mine is I went around the can with some string, okay? So I've got my string here. And then I did letters for mine because that's what I had laying around here. So I'm using these sticky letters. But obviously the cool thing about letters is that you can write your own too. So I had letters, and then I also had some pieces of felt. So if you guys can see on this one, I did pieces of felt with the letters stuck to it. So I'll show you how to do that if you guys have those. And then I also had a few pipe cleaners on mine. So some easy things to find around the house. We're also gonna need some scissors to cut our string. The other thing too is I'm gonna be using some hot glue for this activity. Now, the hot glue and the scissors are going to be dangerous, so make sure that you check with your adult before using either of these. And if they do say yes, be very, very careful, okay, you guys? I know that I have burnt myself with this so many times, and it is not fun at all. And in fact, I think it gets worse every time I do it. So just be careful, you guys. And speaking of that, today I was getting ready for this activity and I had one can, this is a soup can, and I cut myself on the top of it. So if you guys are doing this activity, be sure to check your tin can and make sure that the top of it isn't sharp. Otherwise you guys can put some like paper or foam around that, or felt, whatever you have, just to make sure that you don't cut yourself. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take my tin can and I'm gonna take my yarn. We don't need to cut the yarn yet, but I'm just gonna take a lot of yarn so it's ready for me. I'm going to take the very end of it and I'm going to hot glue it to my can. So I'm going to choose a spot on the very top rim of the can. So I'm going to start right here and I'm going to put my hot glue there. And then with this, I'm going to put the string on there, and then instead of using my finger, I'm going to use a pen, because that way I won't get burned. I'm just going to press it down until that dries. All right, I think it's dry. And now what we're gonna do is we're just going to wrap it around the can until we get to the very bottom. So I kind of enjoy stuff like this. I think it's fun just to get to practice doing things that are intricate like this. But just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect either, okay? So this part kind of takes some patience. And it doesn't have to be covered all the way. So just remember that. I hope you guys are getting ready for school, or I hope that you guys have been having a great school year if you already started. I know it's a little early, but I hope that whatever this school year looks like for you guys, that you guys have a great year. So I'm just using blue yarn for mine. But thinking about it, I think it would be kind of cool if I had like multicolored yarn so that when I put it on the can like we're doing right now, it would show up as different colors, almost like rainbow. I think that would be kind of cool. So this might get a little tricky because there is ridges in the can, as you can see. So sometimes the yarn doesn't go over those very well. So what I do sometimes is you can see that mine is just in between that ridge there. The ridge is sticking up in the middle. So I'll just kind of make it so that there is a ridge sticking up. And then once I've gone all the way around it, then I will just kind of move my yarn slightly as I go around the next time and try to cover up that ridge, okay? And you guys can go over it more than once too. So I'm on a ridge right now, and I'm gonna go over it again. So you can see that the whole ridge is covered now. And that's just how I'm doing it. But if you think the ridges are cool, you can totally not cover them up. Because I do think they're kind of cool. You guys are doing great. My thumb is starting to hurt. Sometimes the yarn will get knotted too if you're not careful. So I'm just undoing the knots there. So in case you guys are curious, we're gonna hot glue the end of this once we're done too. Once we're done putting the yarn on there. So I am keeping my hot glue gun plugged in and hot, but I'm also, I would show you, but it's a little bit far away. I also left my hot glue gun on top of a piece of paper so that the hot glue that drips off of the top of it will drip onto the piece of paper. So as always, there's no need to use hot glue. It works a little bit better since it is hot, but you can always use tape or even Elmer's glue might work too, depending on what you guys want to do. You guys are doing such a great job. I know this is pretty intricate work and it takes a lot of focus and patience. So it's a good way to practice our patience. Nice job, you guys. Oops, got another knot. We'll fix that. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna bring this all the way down to the bottom of the can. We're almost there. Good job, kiddos. Doing great. Okay. And if you need an extra hand for this part, it's always okay to ask your adult, or if you have a sibling or a friend that can give you a hand, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and hold this as tight as we can, okay? And then we're gonna cut it too, so that we don't have it all connected. So go and hold it right there. See, I almost need an extra hand. Okay, so I cut it off while holding it. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hot glue it, okay? So I'm gonna hold it on there until I get my hot glue. I've got my pen here to help me with the hot glue so I don't burn my finger. Okay, so got the hot glue on there now. And I'm gonna kind of just press down, making sure to not hot glue the pen to the can. That would be pretty silly. Instead of putting the pen inside, just to hot glue everything to the outside. Hot glue is fun, but we don't want to get too carried away. Okay, you guys are doing so great. We do have the first part of this activity done already. So this is the can that I put the yarn on. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on the letters for this, okay? So, let me get this hot glue off my fingers. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna cut out the little squares for my letters. So if you can see on this one, I put back to, and then school. So I'm gonna need to cut out some more squares for the letters that I'm gonna do for this one. Now, just because I'm doing back to school doesn't mean you guys have to. You can put something else, like if your school has a mascot, like say the mascot of your school is the Eagles, you could say, "Go Eagles," or if you think you might want a little bit of motivation during this school year, you could put like a motivational quote on here, which is something like, "You can do it," or "Never give up," or I don't know. You guys can probably come up with some better ones. I guess I'm not very motivational. Oh well, okay. Anyways, so what we need to do is we need to figure out how much of each square we want, because you can see my squares are different colors. I like that because it adds, it's just a little bit more fun than just one color. but if you guys have, if you guys want just one color, that's fine too. So I'm gonna count the letters in back to school. Ready? B, A, C, K. So there's 4 letters in back. And then T, O, 6 letters all together. And then school. S, K, H, O, O, L. Okay, so there's 12 letters in back to school. So that means I'm gonna use 6 squares of each color. So I'm just gonna cut out little squares for my letters here. So I'm not gonna make them very big. So I'm gonna do 6 blue and 6 purple, because those are the colors that I have at my house. And the other thing you can do too, if you want to put letters on there, is you can make some puffy paint. You can make it, or you can, if you have some to buy, you can do that too. If you wanted to make your own puffy paint, it's really easy to make it. All you need to make your own puffy paint is flour, water, and food coloring. So if you have those materials, you can go ahead and make your own. Go ahead and go to getyourplayonline.com, and if you find our blog, you will be able to find the recipe for our homemade paint. And then you can paint your tin can, which would be cool. And you would get to pick your own colors. Okay. So I have 4 blue squares right now. So I'm gonna do 2 more. And then to do mine the same size, I'm grabbing one that I already cut out and just kind of putting it on top of the felt to make sure that I'm cutting, to make sure that the one that I'm cutting next is the same size. So just like that. Okay, so now I've got my 6 blue squares right here, and now I'm gonna cut my 6 purple squares. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my squares here to make sure that they're the same size. You guys are doing so great. You guys are doing awesome. Okay, so I think my music stopped, so I'm gonna turn it back on for us here. There we go. Okay, so I have 3 purple squares now. I'm gonna make 3 more. And you know what, you wouldn't even have to do something like squares. You could do like little heart shapes if you wanted. And you wouldn't even need to put letters on these. You could just cut out shapes of felt and hot glue them onto your can. I'm just using this because this is what I had for supplies. So you can use whatever you guys have at home. Okay, so I've got my 6 purple and my 6 blue. So we're ready to go with those. But now what I need to do is I need to get some letters. So I have these little foam letters. So I'm gonna go ahead and find the letters I need for back to school. And I'm gonna try and not to use blue and purple since they won't show up so well on there. So here's a yellow C. I think it's funny because the people who are watching this, you guys probably see the letters before I even see them. You're probably like, oh, you're looking for an A, there's one right there. Oh, here's a yellow S. That'll work great. Oops. Having lots of yellow here. I'm gonna see if I can find ones that aren't yellow. So many yellow. I'll use purple for that one. So I'll just make sure that there's a blue square under that. Let's see here. I need another C. And I need another O. So if you guys are drawing your letters, you might already be done. In which case, you are doing great. Okay, let's see here. Back to school. Just need another O. Okay. All right, so I've got all my letters now. So I'm gonna push these other letters to the side. We'll use those for another activity. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna figure out which squares I'm gonna use for which letters here. Just get them all ready to go. So I'm gonna do every other. You guys can do whatever you want with the supplies that you're using for yours. If you guys don't have any felt, another thing you guys can do is use some like cardstock paper or construction paper. Because that will also work really, really well. Okay, so I almost have all of my letters ready here. Okay, so I have my back to school letters picked out and I've got my felt pieces cut. Now what I have to do is I'm gonna go ahead and take off the sticky parts of the back of the letters and stick them onto the felt pieces. I don't know why, but I just love doing stuff like this. Like these sticky letters, they're just so much fun. Okay, so this B. So yeah, there's like a little middle pieces in like some of these letters, like the A and the B had some middle pieces. So I'm not going to use those. So I'm just going to toss those aside for right now. Okay, almost done with my first word. Another cool thing would be able to, if you were able to put your name on it, that would also be neat. And also, you guys, if you don't have any sticky letters, but you just have some other like random stickers lying around the house, those would be really fun to put on there. Anything that you like is going to be good for this because this is going to be a case for your pencils, or if you're giving it to somebody else, it'll be for them. I'm just going to fix my square a little bit. It didn't turn out very square. Okay. Finish sticking these bad boys on. I like finding the letters for these words because it's almost like a little puzzle that we're putting together, isn't it? I really like puzzles. Can't stay focused on them for too long, but I do enjoy them. All right, so I've got all of my letters back to school. Sorry, I have it so that I can read it because otherwise I don't know. I don't know what would happen. I'm so sorry that it's backwards for you guys. All right, so I have my letters all ready to go. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick them on my can here. So my hot glue on the bottom of my can is right here. You guys can probably see that. So I'm gonna use that as the back of my can, okay? So that I'm gonna put the letters in the front, but it really doesn't matter. However you wanna do it, it's just fine. So this involves a lot of hot gluing. So if you are using hot glue, again, don't be afraid to ask for a grown-up's help so that you don't hurt yourself. So I'm just putting a little hot glue on the middle of the back of these. So I'll show you. Just turn it over and then just a little dot is all I'm using. So not using a ton of hot glue. I don't want to put it all over because I don't want to burn myself. and they will stick with just a little bit. You guys have probably heard dot, dot, not a lot. That's what we need to do right now. Okay, so I've got 2 words here, so you can see my back and my 2. Just missing the school. You guys are doing awesome. I really like this craft because you really can decorate it with whatever you have for supplies. You don't need to go out and get any new supplies for this. You can watch what I do, and then you can do something similar, something different, whatever you want. It's totally fine. Okay, so I've got all of my letters on there. It says back to school. So, you know, if you put letters on yours, I'm really interested to know what it says. Because I bet you guys are pretty creative and we'll come up with something really fun. All right, so now what I'm gonna do to mine, just to add some color, is I'm gonna add 2 pipe cleaners, one at the top and one at the bottom. Another thing that you guys can do is you guys can take like fabric paint and do shapes around the letters that are on there. Otherwise, again, if you have any stickers lying around at home, you can put those on there, or even like cutting shapes out of our felt or our paper, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, so I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to size it up here. So I am going to hot glue my pipe cleaner to the top rim. So you can see it's a little too long. So I have this little tail. It looks like a dog's tail. I have a little tail, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this where I want it here. Well, I guess I'll hot glue this side first. So go ahead and hot glue that. And again, I'm going to hot glue to the back of the can so that my hot glue marks are only on the back of it, but maybe yours doesn't even have a front and a back. That's totally fine. Okay, that one on there, and then I'm going to take it around, and then I am going to cut this so that it fits better. But these pipe cleaners are really hard to cut because there is some wire in them. So it does take some muscle, and if you, again, need some help, totally fine. Okay, I'm gonna take my hot glue and I'm gonna glue it on there. You guys have done fantastic today. So glad you were able to join me. See, I hurt my finger there a little bit. Here I am telling everybody else to not hurt themselves, and I'm hurting myself. Okay, so I've got the top pipe cleaner on there, just like that. And I'm gonna do the bottom one. If you don't want a bottom one, you don't need to have a bottom one. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go ahead and take one end of my pipe cleaner and I'm gonna hot glue it to the back of the can. Where's my handy dandy pen here? Hold that on there. All right, so we've got that edge, and now we're going to add this edge. And then I'm going to cut this pipe cleaner to size it up right and hot glue that. Use my pen again. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust these a little bit. All right, you guys. So I am all done with my back to school can. I'm trying to turn it the right way so that you guys can read it. But anyway, I'm really glad that you guys were able to join us for this activity today. We have had a great summer with you guys, and we are looking forward to even more fun things coming up, so definitely stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool stuff for you. And thank you guys for watching and for participating. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye.